Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Football Friday. It's a solo show today. That's all right. We'll get through it pretty quickly. Got one weekday game. We had a Wednesday night college football game because of Hurricane Ian. We'll talk about the Monday night, Thursday night games, snooze fests that both kind of were. Got one piece of college football news, and then we'll get into some injury stuff, who's in and who's out this weekend as of right now. And then we'll talk about the slate for this weekend, college, NFL, our locks and dogs, best bets, everything in between. So to get started here, we had a game on Wednesday, like I said, moved from Saturday because of the hurricane. UCF got the win, 41-19, crushing SMU at the bounce house. John Rice Plumlee, pretty good game, 69%, 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11 carries, 27 yards. Quarterback Tanner Mordecai for SMU, 62.2%, 295, 1 pick. And then late in the game, quarterback Preston Stone came in. He went 5 of 9, 55.6%, 68 yards, and 3 carries, 12 yards, scored a rushing touchdown as time expired. Leading rusher in the game, tied running back Velton Gardner, 12 carries, 69 yards, a touchdown. And then running back RJ Harvey for UCF, 7 carries, 69 yards. Running back Isaiah Bowser for UCF went crazy, 15 carries, 62 yards, 3 touchdowns, the hat trick on the night. And then 300-yard receivers in this game. Wide receiver Javon Baker for UCF, 6 catches, 138 yards. Wide receiver Rasheed Rice for SMU, 12 carries, 122 yards, and a fumble. And then wide receiver Ryan O'Keefe, 6 catches, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Mr. O'Keefe. Defensively, had to go with UCF defensive lineman Tremont Morris-Brash. 6 tackles, 4 of them solos, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a QB hurry. UCF covered -3, and the under 64.5 hit. I was under 62, got it by a couple. Monday Night Football, 49ers 24-9 over the Rams. Really just a couple big plays in this game that made the difference. The Debo long touchdown, the long run by Jeff Wilson Jr., and then the pick 6 by Talanoa Hufanga. What is up, my guy? Did not expect Mr. Warren to be here.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
Good, on the road. College football weekend, baby.
Yes, sir. Getting some feedback on your end, though. The quarterback Matthew Stafford for the Rams, 50.7%, 254 yards, a pick, and a fumble. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo in this game, 59.3%, 239 yards, 1 touchdown. It wasn't really Jimmy G didn't have the greatest game. But the running game, like I said, Jeff Wilson Jr., 18 carries, 74 yards, a touchdown. Running back Darrell Henderson, 7 carries, 27 yards, 3 catches, 12 yards there. Cooper Kupp, 100-yard performance, 14 catches, 122 yards on 19 targets. Crazy game for him. And Debo, 6 catches, 115 yards, a touchdown on 7 targets. Like I said, that big play, that was really one of the big difference makers in the game. Tight end Tyler Higbee, also a great game. 10 catches, 73 yards, 14 targets for him. It's Kupp and Higbee. That's really the Rams passing offense right now. They don't have much behind them. Stafford doesn't really like to go to anyone else. And then defensively, like I said, safety Talanoa Hufanga, second-year guy out of USC for the Niners, 4 tackles, 3 solos, a pass deflection, and a 52-yard pick six. And then Nick Bosa, have to mention him as well. Monster of a night, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 5 QB hits. The Niners covered -2, under 42 hit in that one. I had Niners money line, so I cashed on that. Any thoughts on the on your Rams game, Mark?
You said it earlier. Matthew Stafford's only going to one, in my opinion, one guy. When that one guy is only going. So it's becoming more predictable, and we don't have a good run game, and it's just it's not a good recipe. Part of it is that's what happens when you go into win mode now, right? You have no draft picks. We didn't really sign anybody. We signed Allen Robinson, but we're not really. He's got 19 targets all year, and in one game, Kupp had 19 targets.
Right.
And then Debo has our number, man. He comes to play against us. Against everybody, don't get me wrong, but he torches us.
Yeah, Jimmy G does too.
Jimmy G does.
That they showed that stat at the end there that Jimmy G's undefeated.
I believe they beat us the last 6 out of 7 times.
Yeah, Jimmy G's 7-0 against the Rams. All right. Thursday night football, the Colts pulling it out to 9 over the Broncos in overtime. This was gross, very gross game. Yeah, Russell Wilson, 53 yards, 2 picks, 4 carries, 22 yards. Matt Ryan, 63.4%, 2 picks. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know what else to say about Russell. It's terrible.
At the beginning, I thought maybe he could be a quiet MVP candidate.
Yeah. Nyheim Hines gets knocked out at the beginning of this game. 3 plays in. I was disappointed I had him in fantasy. Luckily, I had the Broncos defense as well. So they kind of kept me afloat there. But Deion Jackson, the leading rusher in the game for the Colts, 13 carries, 62 yards, 4 catches, 29 yards. Alec Pierce, breakout night for the rookie. Second rounder out of Cincinnati, 8 catches, 81 yards on 9 targets. And then Cortland Sutton for the Broncos, 5 catches, 74 yards on 11 targets. Whole host of defensive players. Baron Browning, Bradley Chubb, Caden Stewart. Those are the 3 big ones for me. Bradley Chubb, 7 tackles, 4 solos, 2.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 3 QB hits. And then Baron Browning, 5 tackles, 2 solos, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, 6 QB hits. And then safety Caden Stearns, 3 tackles, 1 solo, 3 pass selections, and 2 picks. Aren't you excited to watch Commanders at the Bears next Thursday? Going through some mountains, I see.
Be a great one, man. Get your pop.
Yeah. The Colts plus
Get
three.
your pop buddy game.
Yeah, the Colts plus 3 under 40.
Plus 3.
Okay. The NCAA news. We got one big thing that just came down the line. I saw on the D1 ticker. Kennesaw State is moving up. They are now they're the favorite to become Conference USA's 10th member. And looks like they're going to join in 2024. NCAA news. We got one big thing. Mark's going through some mountains. That's all right. The NFL news wise, got some general stuff here. Steelers, it's Pickett time. It is a new era in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett is your new starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tough test in his first game as a Steeler. Starting against the Bills in Buffalo, but and it doesn't get much easier after that. But I think he's going to lead us to some great things, and I think he's going to do well, even with the tough road ahead. Couple retirements. Quarterback Blake Bortles has retired. Jaguars 2014 first round selection, number 3 overall. Played with the Jags from 14 to 18, made that crazy. 2017 AFC Championship run, and then went to the Rams, played for them 2019, to the Broncos in 2020, back to the Rams during that same season, and then he went to the Packers in 2021 and the Saints also in 2021. 24-49 career record, 59.3% completion, 17,649 yards, 103 touchdowns, 75 picks, and 1,766 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. Also had a 20-yard receiving touchdown. Those were his regular season stats. In the playoffs, 2-1. This is just pretty much the 2017 playoff run. 2-1, 57.6% completion, 593 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 121 rushing yards. So good career, Blake. Good backup quarterback he was. Cole Beasley also surprise retirement, in season retirement from him. Was playing with Tampa, but undrafted in 2012, signed with the Cowboys, played for the Cowboys from 2012 to 18, the Bills from 19 to 21, and the Bucks just this year played the first 4 games with the Bucks, or played the games 3 and 4, I believe it was, with the Bucks. 151 games for Cole, 50 starts, 554 receptions, 5,726 yards and 34 touchdowns in the regular season. With the Cowboys and Bills in the playoffs, he played 11 games, starting 3 of them, 40 receptions, 457 yards. So yeah, Blake Bortles, Cole Beasley, both officially done. The other rookie quarterback that will be this week, my guy, Bailey Zappi. He is a starter in this league now. And I'm excited. I'm not picking him though. I'm picking against him. But it's all right. I'm excited to see Bailey Zappi again this week.
When you got out there, I text you, Zappy time.
Yeah, man. Who would have thought? I wish I would have bet that. Bailey Zappi to be the first rookie quarterback to throw a touchdown this year. He did that last week. And the Saints they will be starting Andy Dalton again this week. Jameis still out with his back injury. We are in week 5, so that means is IR, NFI, designated return time. So miraculously, Commanders running back Brian Robinson Jr. is I think going to play this week. He's got a good chance recovering from being shot twice in an armed robbery. They have 21 days to activate him, but like I said, I think he'll play this week. Also getting designated. Eagles offensive tackle Andre Dillard. Big help coming back for the Eagles with Jordan Mailata out this week, probably. Maybe this will be the only week he's out, but will be a good getting some depth back with and then other guys coming designated to return: Browns corner Grady Williams, Bears wide receiver N'Keal Harry, Falcons corner Isaiah Oliver, and Jets offensive tackle Dwayne Brown, and defensive lineman Vinny Curry. IR moves here. The Broncos placed running back Javonte Williams with his torn ACL and LCL, and linebacker Randy Gregory on IR. Panthers did the same with safety Jeremy Chin with a hamstring injury. Patriots quarterback Brian Hoyer, he has a concussion. And Bills wide receiver Jamison Crowder has a broken ankle. Injury wise, Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard, he didn't play last week. He got a broken nose along with the concussion he suffered last week. 49ers are in a left tackle conundrum right now because Trent Williams' replacement, offensive tackle Colton McKivitz, has an MCL sprain. He's out multiple weeks. Giants wide receiver Kenny Galladay. Patriots tight end Jonnu Smith has a little ankle week to week. The Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts is Bucks quarterback Tom Brady has right shoulder and right finger injury. Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb has so the Colts defensive end Kwity Paye out 4 to 6 weeks. And then Broncos left tackle broke his right leg last night. He's not for the year. as is Broncos corner Ronald Darby. He tore his ACL last night. You ready to get the ins and outs for this weekend?
Let's do it.
So, Bears running back questionable. Got to monitor him going up to game time for that one. Ravens wide receiver Rashad Bateman. Cowboys offensive lineman Jason Smith this week. And he is doubtful. Saints running back Alvin Kamara. He does plan to play this week, so good news for fantasy owners there. Eagles kicker Jake Elliott expected to be out. He has a right ankle injury. Cameron Dicker, kicker from Texas, he will kick for Philly this week in Arizona. Also out is corner Avante Maddox. Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata is doubtful with a shoulder injury, and running back Boston Scott with a rib injury is questionable. Giants wide receiver Kadarius Toney with a hamstring, quarterback Tyrod Taylor, wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver Kenny Galladay, and linebacker Azeez Ojulari. They are all out for the London game there. Bills tight end Dawson Knox, safety Jordan Poyer, and corner Christian Benford are all out. Good news for Giants, though. Quarterback Daniel Jones with his ankle injury, he is in, as is Packers left tackle David Bakhtiari and corner Jair Alexander. Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts, he is out. So is Bucks tight end Cam Brate with a concussion. Titans have a lot of injuries this week. Safety Amani Hooker, linebacker Bud Dupree, linebacker Zach Cunningham, and wide receiver Traylon Burks all out. Good news for Pittsburgh. Safety Minka Fitzpatrick is in. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable. And running back DeAndre Swift is out for the second week in a row. Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen also out again. And the 49ers have a whole host of injuries as well. Defensive lineman Eric Armstead with a foot and ankle injuries. Running back Tyrion Davis-Price with an ankle. Defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw with a knee. Offensive lineman Colton McKivitz with a knee. Defensive back Tarvarius Moore with a hamstring. And offensive tackle Trent Williams with an ankle injury. All are out for San Fran. Transactions wise, couple releases. Surprisingly, the Cardinals released wide receiver Andy Isabella, 2019 second round pick for the Cards, never materialized. I loved Andy coming out, just did not get the ball, wasn't used the right way, I guess, possibly, but he is now, I believe he cleared waivers and reverted back to the Cardinals practice squad. Lions, they waived kicker Austin Seibert. So new kicker in Detroit is Michael Badgley, the former Charger and Colt. He will kick going forward for the Lions. And then a couple signings. Raiders signed wide receiver Albert Wilson today, getting some wideout depth there, releasing Tyron Johnson. The Broncos signed running back Latavius Murray to their active roster off the Saints practice squad. And the Patriots signed quarterback Garrett Gilbert to the practice squad. I believe they will elevate him with Mac Jones being doubtful and Brian Hoyer on IR. Mark, I just saw the update because I have the Mariners Toronto game on, and I just saw the update from St. Louis.
Had a chance to win it. He just gave them runs in the ninth.
Yeah, the tough scene. And then finally, NFL news, some workouts. Cardinals worked out our guy. Kicked Rodrigo Blankenship. So Rodrigo in Arizona. I know Prater was having some injury issues possibly, so they were checking around Rodrigo to see if they needed to sign him. And Giants worked out quarterback AJ McCarron as a precaution. They are looking for a backup for Daniel Jones with Tyrod out this week. And then the Lions hosted wide receiver Mohamed Sanu for a visit. College pick standings. Yeah, Mark, we gained a game. We gained a game on Logan this week. We were 20-8. And Logan went 19-9. So Logan is 4 games up on me, 5 games up on you. Lone Wolves last week. Logan went 1-1. He lost Mid-Tennessee and he won on the Purdue game. I went 2-1 in my Lone Wolves. Tulane, I got right against Houston. Oregon State got crushed against Utah. But then I got Elon right as a Lone Wolf on the FCS game of the week. And then, Mark, you got your only one right. Or, no, you lost your only one. You picked Florida State. And Wake Forest beat Florida State. So this week, we got a couple games tonight. There's 5 games, I believe, tonight, or 4, and we're picking 2 of them. Houston at Memphis. We are all over the Tigers. Yeah, Houston just is not it right now. I don't know. Dana Holgerson's having some issues. They just are not looking very good. So haven't really watched Memphis this year yet, but I'm interested to see a little bit of them tonight. Probably won't get to watch too much, gotta work. But yeah, we are all on the Memphis Tigers at home, 2.5-point favorites. I am on the under on this game, 57.5. That's what I got it at. And it is 7:30 on ESPN2. UNLV at San Jose State. Again, we're all in lockstep. That's how it is for most of the games this week in college. The Spartans, they are 7-point favorites at home against the Rebels. Yeah, again, I haven't really watched San Jose State too much. I did win a bet on them a couple weeks ago when they covered for me. But coming off a bye week, I believe UNLV had to come back against New Mexico last Friday. So we'll see. I like San Jose State at home. Maybe they cover, maybe they don't. I'm not sure. But we are going with the Spartans here on the show. Over under is 52.5. I am going to say, I don't know, over. Sure, go over that one. 10:30 p.m. CBS Sports. Saturday, number 4 Michigan, 22.5-point favorites in Bloomington, Indiana. Yeah, Michigan's gonna roll. Blake Corum. I hope he has a great game. I put a little fiver on him to win the Heisman. So that's who I hope has a great game.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's been playing pretty well. They're on the road, but I don't think they'll have any troubles winning this game.
Yeah. Over under here is 59.
Over under here is 59.
Mark, the feedbacks, man.
Mark, the feedbacks, man.
Gotta fix it.
Gotta fix it.
I have no idea what it is. I'm describing.
Over under 59.
Under 59.
And I'm gonna go with the over.
Over.
12 p.m. on Fox. SEC ranked matchup number 8 Tennessee at number 25 LSU. Yeah, again, we're all together on the Vols. Hendon Hooker should have a great game.
They go down and win this game. I'm a through and through Georgia alum, but I think Tennessee then becomes, in my opinion, the front runner, or at least a legit, contender at winning the SEC East.
Yeah. Over under is 65 for this game. So I think that's way too many points. So I'm gonna go under 65. 12 p.m. on ESPN. Big 12 matchup. Who would have thought this would be college game day? Number 17 TCU, 6.5-point favorites on the road in Lawrence, Kansas, at number 19 Kansas. The Jayhawks, Lance Leopold, and Jalen Daniels. We're all over them. 6.5 points favorites isn't scaring any of us, apparently.
I love that. You go from Mayfield making fun of you to go play basketball, and now you're in the top 10. Like, what a turnaround. Coach of the year by far right now.
Yeah. And like I said to Logan last time he was on, Kansas, the state of Kansas runs the Big 12 right now. Kansas State's number 1 in the Big 12, and Kansas is right behind them in second. And Oklahoma's last. They're 0-2 in conference play. But yeah, me and my roommate have a rivalry in this game. He went to TCU for undergrad, so it's gonna be a fun game. And go Jayhawks.
Rock chalk Jayhawks.
Over under is 68.5 though. I'm gonna go under. I think Kansas's defense gets it done. They shut down Iowa State, which isn't the most explosive offense last weekend, but 6.5 is way too much. If you're not going to take Kansas money line like I did, take the spread at least. 12 p.m. on FS1. See, like how are you going to do college game day and then not have it as the national game on ESPN? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather watch this than watch Tennessee LSU. Back to the SEC though, Arkansas at number 23, Mississippi State. And yeah, I know you don't necessarily pick games, Mark, but I picked for you, and you're lone wolfing the Bulldogs at home as 9.5-point favorites against KJ Jefferson and the Hogs.
Hey, I'm a big Sam Pittman fan, but they've had a few outings where they were slow to start, if that makes sense. They're finishing games well, even if they've lost them. It's just the other teams have got out to a good start. So I think that's the key for Mississippi State is can they score early and can they sustain it in the second half?
Yeah, and this is the second week I'm picking against Mike Leach. Picked A&M last week and it didn't work out. So hopefully KJ and the Hogs, Woo Pig Suey, can get it done on the road. Over under is 59. If Arkansas is going to win, it's got to stay under that.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going under. 12 p.m. SEC Network. Red River Showdown, Texas at Oklahoma. This is the first time in a long time that I think neither team has been ranked. And the only reason we're doing it on the show is because it's one of the biggest rivalries in college football. Two teams 3-2. Texas 7-point favorites as the road team, but they're playing at AT&T Stadium in Dallas.
It's definitely something that I don't think that I envisioned with Brett Venables taking over, talking about how a team got 500 yards in one half against him. But with that said, I mean, I don't know an Oklahoma coach that ever started 0-3 or had a 3-game losing streak in the first season. And I'm telling you, that seat is going to be super hot if he doesn't win this.
Yeah, I think this will be a good stepping stone for Sark on the other side to get a win. Texas, they had the win last year, and then Oklahoma came back, right? Or it was the other way around. I think it was Oklahoma won last year.
Yeah, Oklahoma came back from a huge deficit. Caleb Williams, that was his first game. He led him back to a victory in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I just don't know what Oklahoma is going to look like offensively without Dylan Gabriel. I don't expect him to play this week after the hit to the head last week. And I do expect Quinn Ewers to be back, though. I think he's going to make his return. That's going to be the big difference, the quarterback play. So that's why I'm going with Texas, and we're all going with Texas. Over under 64.5. It's the showdown. I just said about quarterback play, but it's the showdown. You got to take the over in this game every year.
Oh yeah.
12 p.m. ABC. Purdue at Maryland. We are on the Fighting Dave Muey's. Talia Tagovailoa lit up Michigan State last week, and I would expect them to do the same to Purdue, who had a great win at Minnesota, number 21 Minnesota last week. Great upset win in that one. Aiden O'Connell was pretty good, did throw a couple picks. So I look for the Maryland defense to try to rattle Aiden O'Connell into some mistakes. And I just think Talia Tagovailoa is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Over under for this game, 58.5. I'm going to go under. I think the Purdue defense holds a little bit. Maryland's defense plays relatively well. And they go under 58.5. 12 p.m. Big Ten Network. American game here, USF at number 24, Cincinnati. Yeah, I love the spread for the Bearcats this week, 27.5. I don't think they'll have any problem covering that against USF. USF is probably one of the worst 5 teams in FBS. So Bearcats at home. Over under is 59.5. I'm going to go over that. Bearcats big time. 2:30 ESPN Plus. Deep South's oldest rivalry, Auburn at number 2 Georgia. The Dogs getting 30 at home. That's way
That
too
is
much.
wild.
Way too much. It's way too much. Take Auburn with the points. Take the points for Auburn. They will cover 30. As bad as they are, Georgia's not going to beat them by 30.
You know, the thing for me talking about our alma mater is I was talking to somebody. I said, good teams find ways to win. And it was, I mean, my nerves were shot watching last week's game. But a lot of teams can come out on the other side a little bit stronger, a little bit more faith in each other. Like, hey, man, our backs were against the wall, hostile environment. We pulled it out. So I'm hoping that with that mentality, they turn around and play really good at home. But 30 points is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But we're all rolling with the Dogs, though. It's also it's homecoming, right?
I will be in attendance. It's also mental health week in college football. My wife and her department at University of Georgia are having a little recognition. So I will be at the stadium in bright red and also a purple and white hat.
Solid. That is solid. The over-under is 49.5. So you got 30 as the point spread, and then the total at 49.5. I said under 49.5. It's very low for college football, but I like the under. I don't think the Georgia defense will allow too many points to Auburn. And then this one is 3:30 SEC on CBS. Go Dogs. Texas Tech at number 7, Oklahoma State. Cowboys get 9.5 at home. We all got orange OSU logos up here. Yeah, I was happy to watch Oklahoma State go into Baylor last week and beat them. And they're going to win again this week. Texas Tech's been up and down. Donovan Smith has actually played very well for them this year at quarterback, but there's no stopping. Spencer Sanders has played terrific, and Mike Gundy's got them rolling.
Yeah, he quietly always has a really good team in Stillwater. It's just, how do they finish the season?
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice, though, to get the monkey off their back for the 1 inch short in the Big 12 title game last year to Baylor.
Yep.
Over-under is 68.5. How you feel about 68.5, though?
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, I would say under. I think the Oklahoma State defense is a lot better than people think. They showed it. I watched that entire Baylor game last weekend, and their defense is pretty good. So I'm gonna go under that one.
Do you think they're a legit contender to be the last 4 standing?
Well, I don't think they've necessarily played anyone yet.
Yeah.
Like Baylor on the road was a test, but I want to see when they play, like, who the people are that are leading the Big 12 right now. Like, I want to see them play Kansas State. I don't know who else is up there at the top, but I think if they have to play West Virginia this year, I think that will be a big test because of the passing game for JT Daniels and the Mountaineers. But yeah, I like to see them play a little bit harder opponents, which Texas Tech is a decent test as well, but not, very difficult. 3:30 on FS1. Pac-12 during the day. It's an interesting one. We usually don't get Pac-12 games in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday, but we have one in a ranked matchup this week. Number 11 Utah at the Rose Bowl at number 18 UCLA, and I'm lone wolfing the Bruins. I'm a believer in Chip Kelly and DTR, Jake Bobo, the great transfer receiver that they got. And I've been picking against Utah like the entire year. So it's from because they screwed me over against Florida week 1. This is going to be a heck of a game, though, for sure.
Hey man, Chip Kelly can coach some college football. I do believe that he's capable of doing that, and he's done it at Oregon, and he's doing it somewhat at UCLA.
Yes, sir. That's why they're going to win. But you're on Utah, though. I gave you Utah.
You're just making sure that you guys have a big lead on me.
Over under is 64.5. I'm gonna go over that.
We're gonna have to change the contestant's name from Mark to Leonard or something.
3:30 on Fox. Liberty 24.5 point favorites at UMass. The Minutemen hosting the Flames. And yeah, Hugh Freeze is going to get to 5-1 on the season here. They're going to have a good time up in New England because UMass sucks. So it's kind of funny, though, because like all the bad teams have been playing each other this year. Like UMass played UConn, and then like UConn is playing against FIU this week, I think. And FIU is like literally the worst team in college football. So this one over under is 47. Give me the over. I don't even know who Liberty has at quarterback since they lost Willis this past year. I don't even know. I haven't watched the Liberty game yet. But this one 3:30 on ESPN Plus. ECU, East Carolina at Tulane. The Green Wave have put together a nice 4-1 record so far, beating Houston in double overtime with their third string quarterback last week. Was a great time on Friday night. You are lone wolfing the Pirates, though, on the road, Mark. I gave you a Carolina team, so you gotta.
I guess I'll have to live with it, even though I loathe them.
You gotta believe in Holton Ahlers. And the fact that they should have beat NC State.
Yes, they should
have. Over under 55.5. I am going under. The defenses are going to be very good in this game. 3:30 ESPNU. Number 3 Ohio State, 27-point favorites in East Lansing at Michigan State. Yeah, I don't know what has happened. Michigan State has gone downhill very quickly this year. Mel Tucker has just lost it, and Ohio State's going to cover 27. I really like 27 for the Buckeyes in this game. CJ Stroud's really the only quarterback in the Heisman race that hasn't had a struggle game this year. other than the first half against Notre Dame, I guess, the first game.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, Ohio State has probably hadn't had the scares like Alabama and Georgia has.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I guess the biggest scare they have was Todd Day going to get into it with Rutgers.
Greg Schiano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Schiano would probably win that one.
Yeah, he's mean, man. Sure.
Over under is 65 in this game. I'm gonna go over. I think Michigan State scores enough to put it over. Give me like 10 for Michigan State, 56-10. 4 p.m. on ABC. Number 9, Ole Miss at Vandy. We are all on the Rebels. I hate picking Ole Miss because they should have lost to Kentucky last week, and I will probably continue to call them the biggest frauds in the top 25 because of what they did the previous 4 games, squeaking by. Their defense is pretty good. Jackson Dart is not the guy though. They have to win by running the ball and defense. Over under for this game is 62. I'm going under. Vandy's not going to score enough. 4 p.m. SEC Network. Pac-12, number 21, Washington at Arizona State. And Arizona State's not that great. Emory Jones, their offensive line can't protect them. Washington might have a game like they did against Stanford when they sacked Tanner McKee 8 times. I could definitely see something like that happening because I think Emory Jones is worse than Tanner McKee is at quarterback. So, I think Huskies big in this game, even on the road in Tempe. I like their chances at covering 14 points. Over under is 56.5. I am going under. Arizona State's not going to score much. 4 p.m. Pac-12 Network. ACC Duke at Georgia Tech. We are all on the Blue Devils. Tech coming off a surprise upset over Pitt last week in Pittsburgh, which was a great win for their interim head coach. But I think Duke is good. You know, they had the loss against Kansas, came back, won last week. I don't remember who they played, but yeah, I think the Blue Devils get it done on the road in Atlanta.
I mean, when I saw Georgia Tech up close, they were abysmal, and then they go and get the upset of Pittsburgh. So I'm like, what is going on? So I hope you're right that Duke can win this.
The over under here is 54. No, under 54. 4 p.m. ESPN 3. ACC game, UNC at Miami. I'm in a pickle because we're all on the Tar Heels here. But I put a bet in on Miami minus 3.5 because that's what I was told to do. So, or advised to do. So I will be rooting for Miami minus 3.5, even though I'm picking UNC here.
Well, if UNC can stop somebody, we all know that they're capable of scoring. It's just the question mark is how much are they going to give up?
Mark, your volume was very low on that. I didn't hear what you said.
UNC can always score points. It just comes down to, can they stop somebody?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. The defense has not been very good for UNC. Somehow they're 4-1. Miami's looked atrocious. Tyler Van Dyke has not had the type of season that everyone thought he was going to have. But Drake May has been a whirlwind in his first year as a starter. So we'll see how this goes down in Coral Gables.
Hey, UNC's starting to churn out quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, they got Sam Howell, Drake May now. So
He hasn't had a stellar NFL start.
over under here is 65.5. I think I'm gonna have to go over with how the UNC defense plays. 4 p.m. ESPN 2. Air Force at Utah State. We are all on the Falcons on the road. I would expect them to cover. I don't think Utah State is very good. So give me Air Force. Give me my guy Brad Roberts and Zeke Daniels for the Air Force Falcons. Over under is 54.5. I'm going to go under that. And 7 p.m. FS1. James Madison 4-0 are the Dukes at Arkansas State. Yeah, the Red Wolves aren't going to have anything for them. JMU is going to cover this game handily, and they will continue to roll in their inaugural Sun Belt season.
I'm a JMU fan. When I was at Shepherd, our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, his brother is the DC at JMU. So I tune in, get all their updates. I love that they moved up and they're 4-0.
Yeah, and like I talked to Logan about before, with what their schedule looks like, JMU could go 13-0 in their first season. Possibly 14-0 if they win the bowl game. I think that's a very realistic possibility for JMU this year. Over under here is 54.5, and I'm going to go over on that one. That's 7 p.m. That's on NFL Network. This game is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Number 5, Clemson, 20.5 points at Boston College. Yeah. I hated to do it because I don't like Clemson, but I just like I said about I put a $5 on Blake Corum to win the Heisman. I put a $5 this past week on DJ Uiagalelei to win Heisman. He has surprised me mightily this year. And since the Georgia Tech game week 1, I think he has improved every single week. And I think he's finally performing up to expectations.
Yeah, I agree. They reestablished by having, a number 10 team come into Death Valley last week. And, it might have been just a 10-point win, but I never felt like NC State had a chance to win that game. I'm liking what I'm seeing under center. And they, the first game, to me, they just had a lot of mistakes against Georgia Tech, whether it was lining up, not in time, not in sync, miffing a punt return, things like that. They look like they've cleaned it up and that, there's not a lot of people that are going to compete with them, at least in the ACC.
Yeah, for sure. Since they got over NC State, yeah, I don't. And, Miami's not good. I really don't know who's going to play them in the ACC title game, but I agree. I don't think there's anyone.
I think if they make the Final Four, I think the semifinal game will really be the barometer of, okay, is DJ this elite quarterback, or he's good enough to get us through the ACC, but he's not able to get us over the hump into the championship.
Right. Yeah, because they have the defense. They have the defense to do it, but over under here is very low. It's 48.5. I have to take the over on that. I think Clemson's going to score enough points, and I think Phil Dracovic can get me enough points to hit the over to get 7 touchdowns in the game. 7:30 on ABC. It's a night game at NBC, though. It could be tricky for Clemson. Just saying.
Hey, BC's played spoiler before.
I don't know what it is about night games, dude. Ranked teams on the road at night just it brings some crazy stuff out. Washington State at number 6, USC. 13-point favorites are the Trojans at home in the LA Coliseum. I don't think that USC is going to have any issues. Washington State has played very well. Cameron Ward, I loved him coming up from UIW, but it's at home. USC found their mojo back last week, and I think Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison are gonna strike.
Yeah, I don't believe that they'll have any issues either. Washington State is, being 3-2 is respectable, but just USC is on a different level.
Yeah. Over under 66. I am spanking the over. I think there's a boatload of points in this game. 7:30 on Fox. South Carolina at number 13, Kentucky coming off the loss at Ole Miss last week. Again, they should have won, but it's all right. They'll get a nice bounce back against Spencer Rattler this week at home in Lexington. So give me the Cats at home, and I will take the 8 points.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. I just feel like they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth. And I know Beamer knows football. He's been around it. It's just Spencer has not played good since his freshman year. And I think Kentucky gets a bounce back win, and maybe in a big way too.
Yeah, looking for Chris Rodriguez to build on his season debut last week at running back. Over under here is very low, 47. I'm gonna go over, just barely. Army at number 15, Wake Forest. Yeah, Wake should spank the Black Knights in this one. Army just is not good this year. And I hate it because they have a first-round pick on their team. Andre Carter II is, I think, going to be a first-round selection this coming draft at outside linebacker because he's a great pass rusher, but he's literally like the only player on their team. But yeah, Wake Forest, get it done at home. Over under is 66 though. I am going under that. Under 66 for me. 7:30 ESPN 3. Number 16 BYU at Notre Dame. Yeah, rivalry game, right?
Yeah.
Was this the Mormons versus the Catholics? But yeah, Notre Dame has bounced back. Marcus Freeman's on a 2-game win streak. They're back to 500. Kalani Sitake had the one blemish in Eugene against Oregon, but other than that, they've played very well, beating BYU or beating Baylor. And they've looked good. And I believe in Jaron Hall. We're all on the Cougars going in to Notre Dame and beating them, even as a 3.5-point dog on the road at night.
Yeah, I was when I watched that game when they beat Oregon, and I was like, BYU's the real deal. I really do like their coach. And then all of a sudden, Oregon, after getting waxed by Georgia, is back on the map as well. So I'm with you. I think they go into South Bend and halt the 2-game winning streak of Notre Dame.
Yeah, and Jaron Hall, dude, I mean, I don't know if there's anyone else that's helped his draft stock more. I mean, he has played lights out. So I'm excited to watch Jaron Hall on the national stage once again on Saturday night.
I think BYU goes to the Big 12 and becomes a contender in its first year.
Yeah, for sure. Kalani Sitake, man, great coach. Over under 51.5. I am hitting the over button, despite Marcus Freeman's defense, and 7:30 on NBC. Thank God it's not on Peacock. Number 20, Kansas State at Iowa State. Adrian Martinez will continue to run well in this game. Look, Iowa State's got a good defense, though. Will McDonald and co. For the Cyclones. But I think Adrian Martinez is on one right now. And he, along with Deuce Vaughn, are going to be too much for the Cyclone defense. And the KSU defense will hold Hunter Deckers in the Iowa State offense. Over under here is very low, 45. Give me the over. And
You think so?
Yeah. Adrian Martinez, they'll score 31 at least. And then 7:30 ESPNU. Iowa at Illinois. I'm lone wolf in the Hawkeyes on the road as 3.5-point dogs. Yeah, it's probably not a good pick on my part, but it's all right. The Iowa defense, that's why.
Hey,
the only
until
reason.
Illinois beats them. I mean, Illinois been down so much. It's hard to fathom them being 4-1.
Yeah. But it's Chase Brown, dude. Chase Brown has just been a monster at running back for the Illini. And Iowa's defense, I think, they're gonna halt his progress, and we're gonna get a safety, and we're gonna win it like 2-0. Because I mean, Iowa even held Michigan to 27, so I think their defense they're gonna get this thing done, and somehow Spencer Petras is gonna get them to a win in Champaign. But you ready for this over under? 36.5. And I'm taking the under. That's crazy. That's lower than any NFL score over under. 7:30 Big Ten Network. This was supposed to be a big one. It's not that great anymore, but A&M on the road in Tuscaloosa at number 1 Alabama. Bama getting 24 at home. I haven't checked on the status of Bryce Young, but I don't think he would be playing. AC joint sprain.
Yeah, I don't believe so either. And you already know how I feel. Like, this is not about the person. I just think Jimbo is not a very good coach, and I still think that Saban beats him. I think it's personal for Saban, and they might not have. They scored. It just looked different in the ways that they scored with the backup quarterback coming in, and he's had a week to prepare, so I'm sure he's prepared him well.
Yeah, I think Bill O'Brien's going to use a lot of what Jalen Milroe does best, and that's run the ball. They're going to do a lot of read option stuff with him and Jahmyr Gibbs and some RPOs. And I think that's how their offense is going to have to run for this game. But yeah, we're all on Bama in this game. A&M just their defense is pretty good. They don't have an offense though. And over under is 51. I'm gonna go over. I mean, how can Bama not score enough to hit that over? And then that one's 8 p.m. on CBS. Florida State at number 14, NC State. Florida State getting their first loss last week at home against Wake Forest. NC State also coming off their first loss on the road against Clemson. And I know how much you love NC State, so you are lone wolfing them, Mark.
Oh gosh, that's too funny.
Yeah, but FSU on the road, I think Mike Norvell's got it together. Was a pretty decent game against Wake. It was close, even though Wake led for almost the entire game. But yeah, give me the Seminoles to upset NC State at home at night.
Well, I guess I'll be rolling with Devin Leary. He's got to come through for me.
The wolf with the pod on his head, like you said before. The crock pot. Over under is 50.5. I am going over with that one. And 8 p.m. ACC Network. Sunbelt, Coastal Carolina, UL Monroe. Coastal getting 14 on the home. We're all on the Chanticleers. UL Monroe actually had a pretty good game the last time I bet. I bet on them a couple of weeks ago, and they actually won outright against Louisiana, or covered. I don't know, whatever it was. But yeah, Coastal, close game last week against Georgia Southern. And they're finding ways to win, and they're 5-0. And I think, like I said with JMU, I think with how Coastal's schedule sets up as well, they still have to play App, obviously, but that one's at home for Coastal. So if they can get past that, I mean, we could literally see a 12-0 versus 12-0, or an 11-0 versus an 11-0 Sunbelt East Division Championship game the last week of the regular season.
Oh, that'd be sick. And for everybody that doesn't know, Coastal took a lead for good on maybe the best football play you'll see all year long.
I didn't think it was that great, but that's just
in the rain, and that was not just a hurdle. He jumped over a man.
Over under is 58. I am gonna go under. I think Coastal's defense limits UL Monroe's offense. 8 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Last FBS game here, number 12, Oregon on the road at Arizona. Ducks getting 13 here. I think they cover. I mean, Jaden DeLora for Arizona. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how Arizona's 3-2. They are somehow, but as long as Bo Nix doesn't turn into Bo Picks like he does sometimes, I think the Ducks will win.
Yeah.
Over under this is the highest over under of the weekend in our games. 71 for the Ducks in this game. I mean, where are the points going to come from for Arizona anyways? Like, I don't know how this thing can go to set over 71. So I'm taking the under. Even if Oregon scores 56, I just don't think it's going to hit 71. 9 p.m. Pac-12 network. FCS game of the week. Hey, man, I lone wolfed our last FCS game of the week, and I got it done. I'm not doing that this week because we're all in accordance. But I got Elon right last week when they upset. Who did they upset? I cannot recall who we had that game last week. But this week,
Who?
anyways, do you know?
Who are we talking about? Sorry, I took a text message.
We're on the
For
FCS
tickets.
game of the week, but I was saying about how I correctly predicted I lone wolfed our FCS game of the week last week. I correctly picked Elon, and I can't remember who they played. Oh, Richmond. They upset Richmond in double overtime. I correctly picked that one, but we are all on the number 6 Delaware Blue Hens at the number 16 William and Mary Tribe. We're all on the Blue Hens though. Delaware has been very good this year. Nolan Henderson at quarterback. I think they can get it done. And, why not Delaware as the national title contender? And I know you know a lot more probably about these teams now since you're in the FCS now, Mark.
Hey, let's do it. Staff. That's William and Mary. I don't know a bunch about, but they've kind of I know more about their administration. They created a bunch of jobs, and they've got a lot of donations that are coming in, and they've just been getting better at the two revenue generating sports, football and basketball.
Yeah. Go the Fighting Joe Flacco's this week though. Go Delaware. On the road in Virginia. Okay. NFL pick standings. And see, Mark, you're beating me though. Like, you're not even picking and you're beating me. So, you're last place in college, but you're second in the NFL. Logan's been
and I went 10-4, big 10-4 last
week. Yeah. Logan's been kicking our butts, but we reeled him in a little bit. You got him by 2 games. I got him by 1. So you and I are back above 5, or you're back above 500. I got to 500 with my record because we had paltry records last week. We went 4-10 week 3. So it was nice.
The NFL has been some bad football in some of these games.
Yeah. But Logan is up on you by 2 now, and he is I'm down by 4 to him, and I'm down 2 to you. London, back-to-back weeks with the London game. Giants at the Packers. Pack getting 8 points as the home team there. First time ever the Packers playing in London. They are the last team to make the trip to London. So yeah, I mean, I'm taking the 8 points with Green Bay. I mean, no Jair Alexander and David Bakhtiari are going to be playing for the Packers. That's a boost. I don't even know who Daniel Jones is going to be throwing to on offense.
Oh man,
Saquon.
that cupboard is bare with injuries.
Yeah, no Galladay, no Robinson, no Tony. So it's going to be guys and Shepard's done for the year. It's going to be guys like David Sills. It's really the only receiver that I know that the Giants have, because I mean I already named 6 Giants receivers or 5, so I really don't know who he's throwing to. They're gonna have to utilize a lot of their rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger, rookie out of San Diego State, and again Saquon. I mean Saquon's gonna literally have to touch the ball like 40 times in this game.
100%. And I mean, that helps like dictate, the momentum and stuff like that. But you're going to you wear down your running back, and then who do you go to? So I mean, the time zone can have a difference, but I see definitely the Packers winning this game, just being able to move the ball at a quicker pace.
Yeah, I think something that Brian Daboll will do too is utilize Matt Breida in the passing game, just to have some semblance of a competent receiver on the field. And we know Breida can make some catches like he did in Buffalo last year. Also, I think one major injury for the Giants, Cordell Flott is out, the rookie out of LSU at corner. I think that's going to open up a lot for Romeo Doubs. The over-under here is 41. I am going to go under 41. I just don't know how the Giants are going to score points. And that is 9:30 a.m. on NFL Network. Steelers at the Bills. Kenny Pickett's first start. It's not a good scenario for him. And this is why I said it is time to switch going into the Jets game, because they played Thursday Night Football week 3. Would have given him an extra half a week to get prepared for the Jets.
And you don't have to play this
elite opponent. Yeah, the Jets are not an elite opponent, and it would have been an easier game for Kenny to make his first start. And it was at home. I thought it was a perfect scenario for Kenny to get his first start. And Mike Tomlin decided, no, we're starting Mitch. Pickett comes in the second half, sparks the offense, gets them the lead. They can't hold it. They lose that one. And now it's like, okay, I don't think I've ever seen 14-point favorites in the league. So shock the world, Mr. Pickett. I mean, Buffalo definitely hasn't, I don't think, convincingly beaten a lot of people except for week 1. So we'll have to see. I'm picking the Bills. I hate to pick the Bills, but I'm definitely interested to watch Kenny Pickett in his first whole game.
I'm at a T-ball game now. Better watch out.
Over under here is 46.5. I think I'm gonna go over. Let's get some points. Kenny Pickett gonna score a little bit. The Bills have a lot of guys out. Dawson Knox on offense. Jordan Poyer is out on defense, so that's both of their safeties because Micah Hyde's out for the year. Christian Benford is also out. Their rookie 7th-round pick at corner, who has been playing well. No Tre'Davious White still. He hasn't been activated off of PUP. So, I mean, I think I would take the 14 for Pittsburgh at least. I think Kenny Pickett's going to spark the offense. The Bills' secondary is not very good. It's just, can the offensive line hold up against Greg Rousseau, Von Miller, and the Bills pass rush? It's the biggest question. And can the Steelers defense obviously stop Josh Allen? Good thing that Minka Fitzpatrick is playing in this game will help that tremendously. Take the points with the Steelers though, for plus 14. And like I said, I'm going over. Chargers at the Browns. We're all picking the Bolts here. And yeah, I mean, Cleveland is like, I don't know. They're a little bit up and down. I think the Chargers have gotten it righted the ship now. I don't think Justin Herbert's in a tremendous amount of pain like he was that first game back against the Jags. Played very well against the Texans last week. I think they're going to go to Cleveland and get this thing done, cover the 2.5. Over under here is 47.5. Give me the under, just under, like 46. It's going to be very close, I think. Bears at the Vikings, NFC North matchup. We are all on the Vikes. Skull Vikings. Yeah, Justin Fields again sucks. Justin Fields is literally probably the worst starter in the NFL. And somehow they're 2-2 because they got the Niners week 1 in the slop. And then, their second game that they won was against the winless Texans. So, yeah, I think that Kirk Cousins, they had a great win last week in London. I think they're going to get it done, and they're going to cover 7 at home. Over under is 44. And I think I'm going to go under 44. The Bears aren't going to be able to score enough. Lions at the Patriots. Bailey Zappi making his first career NFL start. Unfortunately, Bailey, I don't think you're going to win it, even at home. Mac Jones out. Jacoby Myers, I think, is out again this week. So it's going to be tough. Going to have to throw to Devontae Parker. Jonnu Smith out as well. So limited weapons. They're going to have to run the ball, which I think they'll do well against the Lions defense with Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. But look, the Lions offense is one of the best offenses in the NFL. DJ Chark out for this game, but I don't think it didn't matter last game. Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable. See if he plays. DeAndre Swift out. Jamal Williams will get the start at running back, but Hawkinson will show up once again, I think, in this game. And I am lone wolfing the Lions. I just think they're going to be too much offensively for Billy B's defense. And they're going to get it done on the road in New England. Over under is 45.5. I am taking the over. Lions games have a tendency to go over. So over that. Bailey Zappi, Jared Goff shootout. Who would have thought? Seahawks at the Saints. Again, I'm lone wolfing here. I'm lone wolfing the Red Rifle at home because he played very well against the Vikings in London last week. And I think that was indicative of how it's going to be. I don't know the status of Michael Thomas. I haven't heard anything, but I think that he did enough. Chris Olave is going to do well against this Seahawks secondary. And that's why I'm going with the Saints. Even though Geno has played very well, I think that the Saints defense will stop them. And give me New Orleans at home. Over under here is 46. And I'm going to go under that. Both defenses play well. Dolphins, 3.5-point favorites at the Jets. We are all on the Fins here. I think they're going to have a nice game in East Rutherford against the Jets. I think Zach Wilson's going to struggle against this Dolphins defense, and the Fins are going to give Robert Saleh's team their third loss of the year. Michael Thomas is out for New Orleans. Just an update there. So it'll be Chris Olave is the big guy to look for New Orleans. Over under for this game here is 46. I am going to hit the under button. Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. Should be an under game in my opinion. Falcons at the Bucks. Bucks getting it's actually up to 10 now. Is the Bucks spread at home? I would take the Falcons plus 10 all day on that. They're getting the Bucks should have a nice game at home, a rebound game from the bludgeoning that they got against the Chiefs last Sunday night. So yeah, give me Tampa at home. We're all on the Bucks, and give me a lot of targets for Chris Godwin because AJ Terrell, I believe, will be covering Mike Evans. So Godwin should have a big game. Over under is 48. Give me the over. Bucks looking for revenge. Titans at the Commanders. We are all on Tennessee, 2.5 point favorites at home. I think it's down to 2 now. But yeah, the Titans should be able to get it done. Carson Wentz will throw some picks, even though Bud Dupree is out, Zach Cunningham out for Tennessee on defense. Brian Robinson possibly returns for this game for Washington, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Titans had a great comeback last week, or a bounce back in Indy, beating the Colts. So give me Tennessee on the road in DC. Over under here is 43.5. I like the over. Both defenses struggle against the passing game. Texans at the Jags. Mark is lone wolfing Houston to get their first win in Jacksonville. It's going to be tough. Logan and I are going with the Jags just because I think they're going to have a nice bounce back. I hate picking against the Texans because I love me some Davis Mills, and he's played pretty well. The fourth quarter letdowns have just been tragic, though. So I think the Jags get it. The Texans cover the 7, but the Jags win it close at home. Over under is 43.5. I'm going to go with the under in this game. 4:05 game here. Niners at the Panthers. We're all on San Francisco. Look, the Panthers are struggling a lot on offense. Their defense is very good. They're top 10 defense in the league, but they just cannot get it together on offense, despite how many yards CMC can put up. It's just been a tough stretch for Baker Mayfield, and I kind of wish Matt Corral was healthy, but broken ankle, done for the year. So yeah, I don't know what to say anymore for the Panthers offense. It's got to change, and I don't think Sam Darnold is the guy to change it. So, but give me the run game, give me Jimmy G, and the Niners defense. I think we'll have a nice day against Baker Mayfield. Over under here is very low, lowest of the weekend for NFL, 39. And give me the under. I mean, the defenses are good. Give me the under. Eagles at the Cardinals. We are all on the Birds. We are all on the Eagles here. 5-point favorites on the road in Arizona. Look, the Eagles are rolling. The Cardinals secondary is one of the worst in the league, so I think that's a big factor. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith should have a great game in the pass game. And just, yeah, give me the Eagles. They're going to pass it early. They're going to score 3 touchdowns in the second quarter like they have been doing every week, and they're going to win this game handily in Arizona. Over under here is 49. Give me the over. Cowboys at the Rams. I switched my pick. I'm a flip-flopper. The Rams, I switched from the Cowboys to the Rams because originally the Cowboys, I picked them because the defense has been very good. Cooper Rush has looked good. But then I thought about it and I was like, look, the Rams didn't look good on Monday night against the Niners. But I think the Rams defense will be the difference in this game. They will shut Cooper Rush down. Jalen Ramsey will follow CeeDee Lamb. And unless Michael Gallup steps up, I don't think they're going to have an issue. And I think LA gets the win at home. Cowboys cover the 5.5, though. It's a close game, defensive battle. That's why I'm going under 42.5 in this game. Sunday Night Football, Bengals at the Ravens. Yeah, give me the 3 points for Cincinnati on the road. Lone wolfing the Bengals. I just think Joe Burrow got his mojo back against the Dolphins with his receivers. T. Higgins specifically had a great game in that one. Tyler Boyd needs to get more involved, but I think with Jamar Chase, the Ravens secondary has been struggling. They've given up a lot of points in a couple different games, and they gave up a 17-point lead last week in the second half, up 20-3, losing 23-20 to Buffalo. So, and the Bengals have just as good as an offense as the Bills do, probably a better offense because they're more balanced with Joe Mixon running the ball. So, yeah, give me Bengals on the road in Baltimore Sunday night. Over-under is 48.5. I am going with the over in that game. 8:20 on NBC. Best bets of the week. That is supposed to be a Packer logo. My bad. I forgot to change that. But I am going with 0-1-2 last week. We pushed the Vikings -3 at the Saints. And we pushed the Ravens +3 against the Bills. We lost outright the Browns -1 at the Falcons. We lost that one, but it's all right. We're not terrible. You know, we're right there. We're 4-6-2. Just 2 games below 500. We'll get it right this week and get back above 500 here. So give me the Packers -8 against the Giants in London. Love that play there. Think they're going to cover that. Eagles -5 at Arizona. That's a little bit more risky, but again, I like it. Their secondary for Arizona is not that good. I think Jalen Hurts throws the ball all over the field. And then the Titans -2.5 at Washington. Again, I just think that's going to be a pass-heavy game, and Derrick Henry's going to run the ball, though, even against that stout front that Washington has. Titans are going to be able to get it done and win that by 3. Lock standings, I fell back down. Mark is 3-1 in his lock standings. Look at that. Logan got his right. And again, I got mine wrong. I picked the Steelers to beat the Jets. They lost that one. Logan picked the Chargers to beat the Texans. They won that. And Mark got the Vikings right over the Saints. So this week, Logan and Mark are going back to the well in their games. Logan picking the Chargers to beat the Browns, and Mark going back to the Vikings to beat the Bears at home. I am switching, however. I do not like to pick the same team back-to-back weeks unless I have to. So I'm going to switch mine. I'm going to go with the Giants, or the Packers over the Giants. Love that matchup. Again, it's my best bet of the week, -8. And I just think the Giants roll, the Packers roll over the G-Men in London. Dog standings. Yeah, there's only Mark and I. Mark and I went 2-0 last week. Logan 0-1-1, pushed his spread. So last week, Logan pushed the +3 again for the Ravens against the Bills, and then they lost outright. I went 2-0. The Titans won outright against the Colts. And then Mark gets his first win of the dog season. He goes 2-0. The Seahawks win outright in Detroit. So I am 5-3. Was that 2.5 game or 1.5 games up on Logan? And then Mark is 3 games back from me. He is 2.5 back of Logan. This week, Mark and Logan are together on their pick. Mark going back to the Seahawks, +5 at New Orleans. I'm lone wolf in that game, so I hope they lose. But I am sticking with my Bengals pick, +3 at the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Give me Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and co. They can get it done, and the Bengals defense holds up against, Ravens offense. They don't have Rashad Bateman this week, so we'll have to see who is the leading pass catcher in that game for Baltimore. But I like the Bengals +3. That is the show for today. Next week, we will talk about NFL Week 6, talking about the Week 5 Monday Night Football game, and then the Week 6 kickoff Thursday Night Football game. Monday night, Raiders at the Chiefs. Should be a good AFC West matchup. And then another snooze fest on Thursday night. It really can't get any much worse than this past week was last night. So, but Commanders at the Bears, and we'll see what that game has to hold. As always, though, we'll give you NCAA and NFL recaps, and then we'll look at our college football and NFL game picks and previews, as well as our locks, dogs, and best bets. As always, don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, at FAA_bets on Twitter as well. And then FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Thank y'all for watching.